Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 504 based on novel. So let's start. It's really old, and it's not worth it. The attacks of the reincarnation sky array and the fire pillar were originally designed to target the evil races outside the realm. Tang Feng was so recklessly obliterated and swallowed up by them that the blood and anger of those human beings easily wiped out the attacks of the Six Paths reincarnation immortals. Six Paths. Times have changed. When this seat is ready for this move, the entire cave will fall with you. Ashes and ashes. The evil splendor of the filthy monarch was boiling with evil splendor, and the seven-colored evil clouds rolled around, just like some kind of supreme evil that could not be hidden from the world. Even if it crossed the long river of time and space, it appeared slowly. Senior, what should I do now? Seeing the filthy evil monarch who was becoming more and more powerful and terrifying, Xiao Yan, who was hiding in the spiritual palace, couldn't help but ask. Although the Six Paths reincarnation immortals had temporarily recovered with the help of the remnants, their strength was too weak, and they were not on the same level as the current filthy evil monarch. There is a way, but the price is too heavy. I can send you out of here. Xiao Yang murmured, as if he had the intention to protect Xiao Yang and Yun Yun from leaving here. Senior, I want to try, and I also need the third holy flame very much. Xiao Yang, who was hiding in the spiritual palace, had a complicated expression, and immediately looked at the filthy evil monarch with monstrous evil power in the distance. His soul body was surging with madness. Can you bear it? The Six Paths Samsara immortal did not answer Xiao Yang directly, but spoke slightly. It should be okay. Xiao Yang smiled lightly, his voice filled with a domineering aura that looked down on the world. That kind of thing, in the entire Great Thousand World, apart from the lunatic Saint King, I am afraid that you are the only guy who dares to try it. However, the reincarnation of the heavenly path is my inheritance, and I don't want to give up my mantle in vain here. The Six Paths reincarnation immortal muttered to himself, obviously having some consideration. Lord, I once had a deal with Xiao Yang. He will obliterate the heretic god's body, and my origin will be in his hands. Master, I am willing to trust Xiao Yang. At this moment, a touch of relief appeared on the handsome face of the reincarnation of the heavens. Everything that happened in the cave has already made the always arrogant Tiandao Samsara Yang completely recognize Xiao Yang. There are very few people who can convince you in a short period of time. Then, be crazy one last time. After the Six Paths Samsara immortal finished speaking, he controlled Xiao Yang's body, and immediately his body slowly rose. The body control is handed over to you. I can't use this kind of thing. I can only do my best to protect you. The final outcome is in your own hands. After the Six Paths Samsara immortal finished speaking, it instantly turned into a thick golden liquid, surrounding Xiao Yang's body. With the protection of this pool of golden liquid, Xiao Yang's pressure was greatly reduced, and the six kinds of holy flames in his body began to rise at the same time with endless radiance from his body. Trust him. Didn't you always like and adore him? Dakian world is a place good at creating miracles. After Tiandao Samsarayan finished speaking, the whole body trembled and immediately turned into an orange-gold long bright lamp, which slowly drifted away towards Xiao. Obviously, Xiao Yang was the last choice for the two. Xiao Yang, you promised me that we will return to the endless fire territory alive. Yun Yun's beautiful eyes twitched, and the dazzling source of holy flame in her body was like a pure flower that did not stain the world, quietly drifting away towards Xiao Yang. Boom! 6 kinds of source holy flames poured out. Without the blessing of the flame god cauldron this time, the aura in Xiao Yang's body instantly became chaotic. Then, with the addition of reincarnation flame and 10,000 flowers flame core, Xiao Yang's eyes were filled with crazy fluctuations, as if his body would be completely broken by this fluctuation at any time. The power of immortality began to surge from the heart, nourishing and repairing Xiao Yang's damaged limbs and bones. In addition to the golden liquid transformed by the Six Paths of reincarnation immortals, it greatly purifies and resists the source power of the reincarnation flame of the heavenly path. Xiao Yang's situation just got a lot better. This annoying guy. At this moment, feeling a sacred wave that surpassed the heavens and the earth suddenly gushing out from below, the evil monarch suddenly roared in a low voice. The fusion of the 8 holy flames, if such a fighting skill is successful, its power is beyond the realm of top immortal art. Achieving magic. This is the so-called god-level fighting skill. Whether it is a rank or a quasi-god rank, the filthy evil lord has no time to think about it, but this level of fighting skills is undoubtedly extremely destructive to the filthy evil lord. Since it's irreversible, let's fight to the death. Emotional evil power, filthy evil god. The filthy evil lord laughed ferociously, and the gloomy roar sounded like a demonic sound throughout the entire hall. The overwhelming evil and demonic energy, the power of seven-colored brilliance and filth, etc. roared and condensed at the same time, and instantly formed a filthy evil shadow tens of thousands of meters in size in front of him. The filthy evil shadow is huge, with its head above the sky and its feet on the red fire golden world. Its momentum and fluctuations are extremely terrifying, as if under such a shadow, all living beings are as small as ants. Xiao Yang. At this moment, Yun Yun's pretty face turned pale for a while, and under the filthy evil power that covered the sun, both her body and Xiao Yang's body and breath were rapidly compressed. Looking at the sight, Yun Yun's heart poured out a touch of death, and her entire body and internal strength trembled at the same time. The filthy evil shadow began to walk, and every time he walked, the filth and black curtain filled behind him, swallowing the void that was beginning to collapse. Tai Chi Heavenly Emperor Sword. 1,000 Worlds. Looking at Xiao Yang, it still took a little time. Yun Yun's eyes filled with tenderness like water, and immediately the power of Hua Qing's inheritance poured out from her body. With the Tai Chi Heavenly Emperor Sword, she was extremely decisive. Shadow Assassination. The Tai Chi Heavenly Emperor Sword fluctuated violently around his body, and then turned into a golden blade, smashing through the layers of void, and blasted away the body of the filthy evil sovereign abruptly. Bang bang bang. The filthy evil shadow stopped, and slightly slowly raised the pair of demonic hands that were stained with blood. With a light grip, Yun Yun's powerful blow collapsed instantly. Instead, a mouthful of blood was sprayed out completely, and the breath was wilted. Looking for death. Kill her for me. Condensing this filthy evil shadow, the power of the filthy evil monarch has long since become wilted, but it is enough. Without the six paths Samsara Immortal and the heavenly path Samsara Flame, the ruler of this cave is just a filthy evil shadow, and it will only be a filthy evil shadow. The six paths Samsara Immortal and the heavenly path Samsara Yang bet the safety of the entire cave on a stinky brat. They made a mistake. He will eventually obliterate everything in the cave, gain a new life, and bring the evil race from outside the domain to make a comeback soon. At that time, the peak powerhouses in the Great Thousand World had already suffered countless casualties in the First World War, and the Second World War was undoubtedly the unilateral massacre of the Great Thousand World by the evil races outside the territory. Seeing the magic hand attack, Yun Yun's eyes were slightly sour, and her whole body felt weak. She has no regrets. He just used his last strength, turned his head to look at Xiao Yang, and seemed to want to take a look at this man who had occupied his mind and heart for a long time. The corner of his mouth raised a self-deprecating arc, with a voice that only he could hear. If I knew this earlier, I shouldn't have known this guy in the first place. And now, why should I be obsessed with this obsession in my heart? Xiao Yang, I like you. I want to live. The faint voice was as tragic as the crisp foaming was about to explode with endless flames before he died. 8 flames. Reincarnation kills the eyes of God. Suddenly, an emotionless wave of killing intent swept across the entire space in the dimly lit void of the cave. The dark scene was instantly illuminated by countless scorching flames, and a voice that was flat but at this time seemed extraordinarily suffocating. That fluctuation turned out to be beyond the normal category of top immortal arts, reaching a whole new level. The Great Thousand World calls it the list of god-level fighting skills, demigods. A loud bang resounded through the void of the entire cave, like the sound of the heavens, and the violent divine aura filled countless evil forces with a strong sense of anxiety and fear. As Xiao Yang's voice fell, Yun Yun's body was instantly shrouded in an 8-color halo, the tip of her nose was slightly sour, and she looked at the thin figure with a little distress. Yunnan knows that to release this powerful destructive force, even with the help of the 6 paths Samsara Immortal, it is an extremely severe load for Xiao Yang. In an instant, the energy of heaven and earth in the entire cave suddenly trembled. In the main hall and the cave, countless caves, plants and trees, and even some ancient and brilliant halls were shattered and opened. This kind of building and creatures seemed to be called by Xiao Yang's power, and a sacred wave that looked like death broke out, swept from all directions, and the target was naturally the filthy evil monarch in front of him. In the void of the 6 paths reincarnation immortal hall, one after another cracks gushed out with divine scorching power. In the entire cave world, countless weak evil forces were evaporated and purified in an instant, causing the filthy evil shadows in the distance to start roaring in anger. The filthy evil shadow stared at Xiao Yang in the distance with hundreds of feet of 7-colored vertical eyes, and an unprecedented uneasiness appeared in his heart. On the top of Xiao Yang's head, there was a swirl of 8-colored brilliance slowly flowing. Above the 8-colored brilliance, a glazed flame eye only the size of a dragon's eye appeared. The terrifying weather of the galaxy descending. What kind of power is this? The foul evil lord hid behind the foul evil shadow, and when he saw the scene in front of him, his expression changed drastically, and he roared directly at Xiao Yang in the distance. This kind of power is too strange and powerful, and it is not at all possible for the current self to resist. Bring it on. Let these dirty guys see our supreme power again. Xiao Yang slowly raised his hand and held his eyes on the palm of his hand. Suddenly, a strange crack that was pitch black as ink split open in the palm of his hand. In the depths of his palm, there were several kinds of holy flame powers emerging, some of which were even more faint. The terrifying power that made the filthy evil monarch feel the swirling of the heavens and the earth filled the air. Using demigods to obliterate you doesn't count as burying the title of the evil ***** outside your realm. Some of the viciousness you have done to our great world will be repaid with your death. After Xiao Yang finished speaking, he opened his palms slightly, and the samsara god-killing eyes gently pushed out. Seeing this, foul evil lord suddenly felt a shuddering terror all over his body. He saw that in this temporarily quiet hall, all the power instantly became dead silent, and an oppression of impending disaster permeated out. Foul evil shadow. The evil ***** explode. At this moment, the filthy evil lord poured out a violent and fierce aura in his heart, and he did not dare to hold his hand at all. The endless emotional and evil power in his palm swept through, and viciously grabbed the filthy evil figure under his feet, and then squeezed tightly. Bang! An evil air mass capable of subverting the entire cave shrank for a moment, then exploded in an instant, filled with an extremely terrifying wave. Samsara's god-killing eyes slowly fluttered, and wherever it passed, all the evil powers immediately returned to nothingness, and even the emotional power emanating from the filthy evil monarch was indifferent. The energy of heaven and earth in the entire hall has become very scarce, but this seemingly ordinary small eye is more and more profound, and the fluctuations contained in it are also more and more dangerous. Crack. The power of reincarnation slowly swept out, and 8 completely different flame energies overflowed around the eyes, so it was like a no man's land, completely ignoring the shocking explosion of the filthy evil shadow, quietly cutting through the void, facing the body of the filthy evil monarch whizzed away. It seems that no matter how huge the evil fluctuations generated by the self-destruction of the evil shadow, it is too insignificant under the fusion of the 8 sources of holy flames. Do not. Impossible. This kind of power can actually ignore the obstruction of the self-destruction of the evil shadow. At this moment, the fluke in the heart of the filthy evil lord disappeared indifferently, and the corners of his mouth became hideous, like a heinous devil, even if he faced the most severe trial. Now that he has tried his best, he is still unable to obliterate Xiao Yang. The only thing waiting for him is death. I can't die here. I'm not reconciled. Miserable roars poured out, and the dying body of the filthy evil lord couldn't help shaking. At this moment, he finally clearly realized the terrifying aspect of this thin figure in front of him. Ended. In the distance, Xiao Yang was surrounded by an 8-color halo. From the outside, he couldn't see his specific situation at all, but the latter exhaled a breath of relief that had been through the vicissitudes of life. Godkiller's eyes broke through the self-exploding ripples produced by the filthy evil shadow, and immediately came to the side of the filthy evil lord. The void around him was instantly twisted and imprisoned, and the 8-colored flame beams slowly filled the air, trying to face the filthy evil lord. Perform the final blow. The filthy evil lord was not reconciled, and his body trembled, pouring out the evil mouth that was enough to annihilate everything, forming a dark light of death. This guy seems to want to drag Xiao Yang to be buried with him. It is a pity that the evil spirit consciousness occupying other people's bodies is too weak for Xiao Yang, who is now equipped with 8 kinds of holy flames. The 8-color flame eyes and the pitch-black deathlight ended with the victory of the 8-color flame eyes. When the pitch-black deathlight was completely engulfed by the 8-color flame, the monstrous demonic energy in the entire cave suddenly became disordered. The weak devilish evil energy actually escaped from the void of the hall. As for the filthy evil monarch, he never made any sound again, because all his vitality and origin were drowned under the eyes of god-killing. 8 flames combined with god-killing eyes, the fighting skills of the semi-divine rank, even in the face of the 6th evil god's peak period, I am afraid it is a terrible existence enough to seriously injure him. Boom. Xiao Yang naturally would not let these fish slip through the net. With a big wave of his hand, the 8-colored flames were like a lock of heaven and earth, easily imprisoning these remaining evil auras, and then they were crushed and blasted away. At this moment, countless evil forces have been completely wiped out in the entire six-path reincarnation cave. Although this cave has already become riddled with holes, it is also the last wish of helping the six-path reincarnation immortals. Senior Sage of the Six Paths of Reincarnation, the filth has been removed, you can rest your eyes. It was not until the biggest catastrophe of this trip to the cave was completely resolved that Xiao Yang had a straight body and his eyes slowly fixed on the throne above the tattered ruins. At this moment, on the throne, a little bit of divine power poured out, and immediately gathered into the appearance of a six-path reincarnation immortal. This time, the phantom of the Six Paths reincarnation immortal is more solid than the previous energy avatar, but the latter did not say anything, just smiled faintly at Xiao Yang, as if thanking and approving Xiao Yang, and then turned into countless brilliance, little by little dissipated in this vast world. The catastrophe in the cave was over, and the Six Paths of Reincarnation immortals also had no worries in their hearts, ending this long life. Senior, go all the way. Seeing those afterglows slowly disappearing, Xiao Yang forcibly suppressed several changes in his body, bent his body slightly, and bowed respectfully towards those afterglows. Xiao Yang also knew a lot of news about them when he just performed this blow. In order to protect the Great Thousand World, the cycle of reincarnation was blocked. Even if he had only the last trace of strength, he still tried every means to suppress and seal the sixth evil god. Such an unparalleled powerhouse was enough to make Xiao Yang truly admire. Senior Six Paths, he. After a long time, above the void of the main hall, Yun was the first to speak, breaking the peace. The sixth evil has already wiped out his reincarnation, and the energy clone condensed from the two residual images should be his last strength. He fell completely in the battle against the sixth evil in a state of serious injury. Xiao Yang looked around this cave with a little regret. Being able to build such a huge realm with his own power to suppress the sixth evil god, the strength and actions of the six-path reincarnation immortal is really admirable. The great world has such a level of patience, why not worry? It's finally over. The next moment, Yun walked slowly to Xiao Yang's side, and then looked at Xiao Yang with a slightly sour look. The scene just now was too frightening. If there were any unexpected events, the two of them would have already fallen into reincarnation by now. The current Xiao Yang was covered in scars, a trace of demon blood had already solidified on his skin, his face was very pale, and there seemed to be some violent fluctuations slowly beating in his body. Yeah, it's over. It's just that I don't know what someone said before, but I can count it. Xiao Yang suddenly grinned, and then his eyes changed to stare at Yun. Obviously, for Xiao Yang, who possessed the soul power of the immortal ascension boundary, Yun's every word was listened to by himself. You. When Yun heard the words, she immediately sighed, and a burst of crimson quickly appeared on her pale cheeks. Such a young daughter's attitude is exactly the same as that of a boudoir girl whose heart is racing as soon as she hears her sweetheart, and her cheeks are blushing. Stop talking about that. Let's go back first. Where are you going back? Go home. Where are you going home? Endless fire territory. The entire slightly quiet hall was filled with Xiao Yang and Yun's conversations for a long time. Although there was a bit of a naughty charm, the feeling of the rest of the life and the recovery of the lost was undoubtedly pleasant. Bang! The next moment, Yun stared at Xiao Yang a little depressed, just about to attack, but saw a pool of orange-gold flames spray out of Xiao Yang's chest unprepared. The orange-gold flames sprayed out, and the terrifying fluctuations contained in them actually eroded away a void in front of them in an instant. Xiao Yang, how are you doing? This is the recovery profound pill that Elder Yarrow gave us, eat it quickly. The anger on Yun's cheeks disappeared instantly, and a touch of fear filled her heart. I'm fine. After swallowing the Yun pill, he put the pill in his arms into the corner of the latter's mouth. The power of reincarnation in Xiao Yang's body was like bamboo shoots after a rain. About 70%. Is it the reincarnation of the heavens? It's all over, you should spit it out. Yun spit out the medicinal pill, her complexion obviously improved, but she was worried and hurriedly reprimanded Xiao Yang. I'm afraid it won't work. The last remaining power of the six-path samsara immortals resisted the erosion of the heavenly path samsara flames, so we were able to perform the demigod technique under the fusion of the 8 flames. Now that the six-path samsara immortals have completely fallen, all the wisdom of the heavenly path samsara flames disappeared along with their predecessors. Today's third holy flame has long since become an ownerless thing. Once I release it, I'm afraid this cave will collapse in an instant. Xiao Yang's forehead was dripping with sweat, and even his voice became extremely slow. Xiao Yang still underestimated the power of Tiandao Samsara. Number 3 on the Holy Flame list, it really lives up to its reputation. If it wasn't for the dragon god transformation, the 6 kinds of holy flames tempered his body, and now he would have been burnt out by the 3rd holy flame. But even so, the blue-colored dragon scales on Xiao Yang's body were like shriveled scales, and a burst of orange-gold light continued to flow over the entire body. Every time the orange-gold light flickered in Xiao Yang's body, it made Xiao Yang feel like he was overturned, as if he was getting closer to death. I want to try. After being silent for a while, Xiao Yang looked at Yun Yun solemnly, as if asking for the latter's opinion. No. The current situation devours the 3rd sacred flame, which is undoubtedly a dead end. I will never allow you to do this. Yun Yun shook her head directly, her body was energized, she held the Tai Chi Heavenly Emperor sword in her hand, exuding a cold goddess aura, as if she wanted to use her own strength to forcefully take out the holy flame from Xiao Yang's body. Seeing such a stubborn Yun Yun, Xiao Yang helplessly laughed. Get ready. I know your temper, but I don't want you to die. The next moment, just when Xiao Yang shook his head and was about to stun Yun Yun's delicate body suddenly took a step forward and tightly fitted Xiao Yang. For a time, Sheng Yang's breath, and the reincarnation power in Yun Yun's body that had recovered 70% of her strength, poured into Xiao Yang's body without a trace. Yun Yun, thank you. I love you too. You still want to take me home, don't break your promise. While speaking, Yun Yun stretched out her little finger and stared at Xiao Yang with an innocent smile. Okay. Xiao Yang also cooperated with Yun Yun, and his laughter was endless. Boom. Xiao Yang's whole body is protected by a layer of golden light shield crystals. Obviously, he has already begun to devour and domesticate the 3rd holy flame. The final outcome is nothing more than swallowing or being swallowed. The process of devouring was extremely difficult, but no matter how many failures he faced, Xiao Yang's heart was always filled with persistent thoughts. With the addition of the 6 holy flames, Fenju, and the power of immortality, as time went on, bit by bit swallowing the 3rd holy flame, time is passing by slowly, and Yun Yun from the outside world is also closing her eyes and resting. It seems that through this trip to the cave, her strength has become more and more diligent. Although she has not yet been able to set foot on the 5th level of reincarnation, it is only a matter of time. Or the future achievements, I am afraid that it is more than that. At the moment of devouring the holy flame, I don't know if it was because of the origin of the reincarnation flame of the heavenly realm, there was a trace of the reincarnation power of the 6 realms of reincarnation, which was so weak that it was almost negligible, which led Xiao Yang to introduce a mysterious area. This is a grey and blank world, and the whole world is as spotless as a blank page. Not long after, a young girl suddenly appeared in the blank world. That guy, Xiao Yang also knew, was the woman he met in the ghost world, a woman named Yun Qi. It seems that when he was in the ghost world, some strong people said that this guy and his previous life have a lot of origins, but Xiao Yang has no way of knowing what the origin is. After all, Xiao Yang is not this Fang Dakian belonged to the world, so Xiao Yang did not believe in reincarnation. At this moment, a strange emotion suddenly poured into Xiao Yang's heart. Looking at Yun Qi on the screen, Xiao Yang's mind suddenly froze, his eyes lost their original color, but subconsciously, he slowly called out a strange name. Sister Nan Nan. This call turned out to have crossed the long river of time and was slowly transmitted to the ghost world. However, Xiao Yang's expression was strange at this time, as if he was being controlled by some mysterious force. He didn't realize that the moment he spoke, the water and fire twin spirit beads in his body erupted with an unprecedented wave of heat. In that wave, there is an aura that surpasses all things. If the Demon Emperor and other strong people exist here, I am afraid it is easy to recognize that the fluctuation is an aura that transcends reincarnation. The 9th reincarnation will be the mansion of the gods. But the power of the divine palace is something that mortals can easily spy on. Dare to ask God if there is a God. Far away, the ghost world is empty. Sister, what are you doing? You stay in front of this paper screen on time every day, looking sad and blurred. Is this guy dead? Is senior sister praying for him? In the ghost realm, in the area of the 5 courtyards in the Lihuan realm, in a rather quiet incense room, a girl with an elegant and dignified face was sitting on the table, looking at the handsome man on the paper painting in a trance, her eyes blurred. There seemed to be joy mixed with a touch of sadness, but I didn't find the door was gently pushed open by a little girl. The little girl had a quirky and mischievous look. She just pushed in the door and said with a smile, "Qingya." When the girl was told this by the little girl, Her originally sad eyes suddenly filled with an unprecedented stern look, and her voice became sharp and harsh. Senior Sister Yun Chi, scare me. If I tell the sect master. The little girl was frightened by Yun Chi, and immediately slumped on the spot, crying loudly. Senior Sister didn't scare you. This guy, named Xiao Yang, is a very powerful guy in the human world. Yun Chi stretched out her hand to support Qingya, and then her voice became gentle again. It seemed that after mentioning this name, her mood became so strange. In the past, when I was a competitor with Xiao Yang, I never had this illusion. Maybe it was because I missed it, I knew it was a pity. But even Yun Chi himself didn't realize it. It seemed that Xiao Yang's figure flashed in his mind from time to time, and even a more illusory figure of a woman appeared together in his memory. In the memory, it is very vague, but Yun Chi is sure that the breath is real, and he doesn't know what kind of breath power it is. Senior Sister, do you like this human? No, don't talk nonsense. I remember that the headmaster said that if you like Shan Zhen, you want to eat a lot of delicious food together. Senior Sister, are you going to find him? Dong dong dong, Yun Chi? The two figures kept talking about the little daughter in the incense room, but after a while, someone knocked on the door. Yun Chi has long since stopped asking about the 5 academies and devoted himself to cultivating. At this time, someone will come to look for him, which is very strange. Outside the door is a figure that looks like a scout guard, and as expected, dressed in black, it is obviously a Li Hun guard from the Li Hun clan, serving the current master of Li Sol Domain, Duo Chifei's personal guard. Lord Yun Chi. Recently, there is something wrong with the ghost world. The space channels that connect us to the other 6 worlds are all locked, and the entire ghost world seems to be banned by some powerful force. There is no news from those who defend the cracks in the plane. And now the domain owner is nowhere to be seen. It's really weird. A strange-looking Li Hunwei came towards him, and he said straight to the point as soon as he opened the door. Well, I'll go find her. As soon as the voice fell, calm was restored here. In the 6 Paths Reincarnation Immortals cave, Xiao Yang's figure was instantly retracted, the whole person's breath was very disordered, and he sat in the blank world, gasping for breath. Even Xiao Yang himself didn't know why he saw Yun Chi's portrait in this blank world, and it made Xiao Yang feel a sense of déjà vu. What's more, what exactly is that so-called Sister Nan Nan? Forget it, the things of the past and present are too mysterious, let's devour the holy flame as soon as possible and complete the transformation. After a brief hesitation, Xiao Yang shook his head, and the majestic soul force within his body tilted out, instantly shattering this mysterious space. Once again, his body returned to the main hall. The whole body was enveloped by a layer of orange-gold energy crystals, and an unusually sacred and violent orange-gold flame was flowing through Xiao Yang's skin and blood vessels at the same time. The orange-gold flame was flowing, and even the glazed flame fused by the 6 holy flames in Xiao Yang's body could only retreat quickly. The ancient pressure of the 3rd holy flame made the 6 holy flames uneasy. Although Fen will never be able to evolve and reach the god level, but now it is the strongest representative of the god level technique. Bring it on. As soon as the words fell, Xiao Yang's body became crazy. Such a move is a sign that it is starting to devour the holy flame. Boom. One after another terrifying fluctuations that shook the heart and soul scattered from the energy crystals without warning, causing the entire hall to collapse in the void. The time was confused, and the curtains of destruction continued to extend. Xiao Yang. At this moment, Yun Yun's heart once again flooded with solemnity. Although Yun Yun knew that Xiao Yang's cultivation technique was extremely special, in order to devour the holy flame in exchange for that kind of majestic and powerful power, what he had to experience and face was definitely not something normal people could bear. There was a tension in his eyes, and he could vaguely see the figure in the energy crystal. He was tortured. The halo of destruction destroyed Xiao Yang every time, and the power of immortality poured out. Let Xiao Yang regain his life again. The glazed halo and the orange-gold halo were constantly changing. Although swallowing all the way was extremely dangerous, with Xiao Yang's tenacious obsession, it was only a matter of time before the swallowing succeeded. During Xiao Yang's transformation, many things happened in the entire Great Thousand World. The many experts who went to the 6 Paths Samsara cave to try to capture Shenyang, except for the few who fell into Xiao Yang's hands, all gained something, so they have already returned to their respective realms. Fairyland. In today's immortal world, the cracks in the sky have disappeared, and the entire immortal world has become stable again. The reason is that the needle that Yueru brought back has completely reconstructed the immortal world. At this point, the immortal realm was renamed the Heaven Realm, and Yueru Yunyun and a group of powerhouses with outstanding strength were selected into the list of the powerhouses in the center of the Heaven Realm, temporarily stabilizing the situation of insufficient top power in the lower Heaven Realm. It's been almost a year. The reincarnation cave mansion is strangely passing time. I am afraid that more than 3 years have passed in the void inside. Xiao Yang, you really? On the huge square of the Moon God Palace in the heavenly realm, Yueru is sitting here alone. It is night time, her eyes are narrowed and she looks at the crescent moon in the endless night sky. I am afraid that such rumors, I am afraid she herself do not believe. 9-star Lianzhu? What exactly is going on? Suddenly, above the sky, there is a scene of tidal scenery, which slowly spreads out. In the vast and deep starry sky, 9 extremely dazzling stars suddenly lit up, and then slowly intertwined into a round of strange pictures. At this moment, whether it is the heaven, or the human world and other realms, there are countless strong people who have discovered the strange scenery in the starry sky. Jiuxing Lianzhu, this world, I am afraid a disaster will happen. But where did the disaster be discovered? One after another, meaningful low-pitched sounds permeated the minds of the 6 realms, and this scene obviously represented the birth of some catastrophe, but now there is no realm in the Great Thousand World. Traces of a strange event. At this point, the atmosphere suddenly became tense in countless regions in the entire Great Thousand World, because no one knew what this vision of heaven and earth represented. Whether it is the beginning of the catastrophe, or something else, is still unknown. After a long time, the reincarnation immortals' cave slightly cracked a gap, and suddenly there were 2 streamers flickering, which turned into 2 simple figures in a short time. The 2 set foot on the vast and endless void outside, and looked at the ancient cave in front of them with deep and nostalgic eyes. Under the gaze of the 2 of them, this ancient cave mansion finally completely submerged into the long river of time and space, perfectly hidden in the void, and it seems that it will not be opened again in the future. The disaster has ended, and the power of the 6 Paths reincarnation immortal has disappeared. It is time to rest in peace. After waiting for the reincarnation cave to disappear completely, a trace of relief appeared above the cheeks of the 2 figures. This trip to the reincarnation cave is really too dangerous. If it weren't for the last crazy move, I'm afraid the situation is still not optimistic, but the ending is good. However, Xiao Yang also knew the horror of demigods. Unfortunately, in the vast world, there are very few strong people who can independently perform top immortal techniques. Similar to demigods, such destructive attacks, unless they have the blessing of angels from the kingdom of angels, they are very difficult to display. Senior, this world, we will protect it on your behalf, because this is our world. Ran Rant's voice fell, and a terrifying wave that surpassed the heavens and the earth slowly radiated from Xiao Yang's body. Today's Xiao Yang, his body, chest, and even his skin, have been thoroughly tempered by the reincarnation flames of the heavenly Tao, and faintly there are ancient golden lines flickering on his body. For nearly a year, not only did he successfully swallow the 3rd holy flame, but he even completed the fusion of the 7 holy flames. A 7-color holy flame dominated by orange-gold flames and 6-color faint colors. The new heavenly Tao reincarnation flame. As a result, his strength has also been greatly increased. Even in the cave, he has completed the 6th transformation of the Dragon God transformation, and the cultivation of the Dragon God's fury. It can be said without hesitation that this trip to the reincarnation cave is impressively Xiao Yang is a line of rapid growth in strength in the reincarnation stage. In the 5th reincarnation stage, the power of the 3rd holy flame is really terrifying. Yun Yun, who was leaning on Xiao Yang's side, stuck out her pink tongue, and immediately said with some envy and happiness, "Your strength is also a bit terrifying." Hey hey. The next moment, Xiao Yang grinned and immediately shook his palm slightly. Since this place is over, let's go back to the endless fire territory first. You must have been worried by them after you disappeared for so long. Yun Yun forcibly broke free from Xiao Yang's snuggle, turned her back, and showed the most incisive appearance of the slender ladies. During the devouring period, the holy flame power that was enough to swallow all Xiao Yang's mind, if it wasn't for Yun Yun's help, I'm afraid Xiao Yang wouldn't be so easy. Therefore, Dongfu and his party have already made the 2 of them open up the hidden feelings in their hearts. In life, since you should dare to love and hate. Okay. Xiao Yang nodded, and then he lifted his palm easily, and drew slowly towards the void in front of him. At that time, a space crack emerged, and its entrance was a space-time wormhole that was connected to the endless fire domain. It's really been a long time since I saw those guys from the Dochi continent. Looking at this space crack, Yun Yun's brows were slightly wrinkled. There was nothing on the surface, but she couldn't help but feel a little worried. Don't worry, nothing will happen. Xiao Yang tentatively expressed his condolences to Yunyun. This guy should be worried about Sun and the others. I rashly disturbed the two of you, I hope you will not blame them. Suddenly, around the entire void, silver halos emerged one after another, and immediately weaved into a huge net. In the center of the giant net, the power of countless silver spaces began to gather, vaguely forming the appearance of a human man. With silver hair and deep eyes, the cowardly-looking body was filled with tyrannical fluctuations. He came to the door so soon? I don't know if it is the powerhouse at the center of the human world, the Buddha world, or the powerhouse in the world. Seeing this scene, Xiao Yang did not panic, just smiled faintly. Now that his soaring strength has reached the 5th level of reincarnation, with the addition of the dragon god transformation and holy flames tempering increase, I am afraid that with the strength of the body alone, it is not a problem to face the peak of the 5th level of reincarnation. The current Xiao Yang is enough to rank among the peak powerhouses in the Great Thousand World, and he is no longer the guy who hovered in the 2nd and 3rd tiers of reincarnation the next day. Sir Xiao Yang, what are you doing? The next one is the special envoy of Darkiangong, Chen Xuanyu. This time, I came here on the order of the Lord, and I came here to guard and wait for the Lord to leave the customs, so as to invite the Lord Xiao Yang to participate in the summit meeting. The man on the giant net of time and space looked at Xiao Yang's terrifying fluctuations that looked down upon the world, and immediately laughed with some fear. It seems that this kind of fluctuation can only be radiated from the big figures in the Great Thousand Palaces. How could it appear on Xiao Yang? Xiao Yang's strength is certainly not weak, but according to the information, his strength is at the triple reincarnation level, and such strength does not mean anything in the eyes of a behemoth like Darkiangong. Dachinomia, the Demon Slayer Summit? When Xiao Yang heard this, he was a little stunned. Obviously he didn't know much about these things. This meeting is already comparable to the highest level meeting in the world. Every time this meeting is opened, some important things are discussed. I also remember that there is a record in the teacher's inheritance. The first battle between heaven and earth started shortly after the summit meeting of the 8 demon kings in Darkiangong. This shows the importance of this meeting. The people who can participate in the meeting are all unparalleled powerhouses who have made great contributions to the world. Yunyun was shocked when she heard the words. Through the inheritance given to her by her teacher, she knew too well the influence of Darkiangong. Time is running out, please also ask Lord Xiao Yang to accompany me. This time, it's the 10 Demon Slayer Kings. Chen Xuanyu looked at Xiao Yang respectfully, and after speaking slowly, she went quiet, waiting for Xiao Yang's decision. Let's go together, let you go back to the Endless Fire territory alone. I'm a little worried after thinking for a while. Xiao Yang pulled Yunyun's wrist directly, and immediately looked at Chen Xian. Jade. I'm tired. The faint voice fell, Xiao Yang's figure suddenly became tyrannical, and a smear of holy light from heaven and earth crept out, as if a certain supreme artifact was born, blooming with endless brilliance. 5th tier. At this moment, feeling the real tyrannical fluctuations in Xiao Yang's body, Chen Xuanyu's heart was filled with envy and shock. A year ago, countless geniuses in the world competed for the 3rd holy flame. Xiao Yang was still only a triple reincarnation rank guy. Now that a year has passed, this guy's strength has actually advanced by leaps and bounds. A year is just a blink of an eye for a reincarnation level expert. At this moment, Chen Xuanyu seemed to understand why the big men in the Dakian palace sent themselves to guard outside the cave. I am afraid that they have already expected that the new master of the 3rd holy flame is the master of the Endless Fire domain. 2 adults, please come with me. The voice fell, Chen Xuanyu's palm shook, and the space scrolls poured out. One of the stable space passages instantly enveloped the 3 of them. At this point, the 3 of them headed towards Darkiangong in a mighty manner. This video will end here.